Today I'm bringing you a conversation on unpaid work, specifically situations where you're asked to give services in exchange for exposure. Now, I know it can be really awkward when a company approaches you, asks you to work for them for their project or their event, and then says, well, we can't really pay you, but it'll be good exposure. Well, if this has ever happened to you, then keep watching for my interview with Keita Williams. Keita is the founder of Successfully, an elite accountability practice. And in this video, we're going to chat about how you can advocate for yourself when you're asked to work for free and how you can make unpaid work pay off.
When I first started my business, I said yes to everything. Right? And it was
that's what I'm trying not to do. But so hard.
Yes, sure. I'd love to. Yes, more. Yes. And then I found myself tired and broke. It was yes without asking for payment or doing the exposure. Don't get played with the exposure game either.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, we do this for exposure. Okay, but what does that exposure look like? Ask for very specific things when people try to pay you in exposure. I'll tell you about my 5 asks. I ask for access to the list. So if I'm doing any live thing where there's people involved, I want to know who's in the room so I can personally follow up with them.
And do you ask for their contact info?
Yep.
Okay.
If you won't give it to me, then my team needs to be at the sign-in table capturing information when people walk in.
Okay.
The other thing I ask for is I need 5 referrals. So if this is not in your wheelhouse, I need 5 people or 5 organizations that will partner with me at my rate card.
That's a hard one.
At your rate card. Yes, Then I ask for a recommendation. So whether that's on LinkedIn, on my Facebook, or a recommendation that I can repurpose for my website. So that's another one. Then I also ask for 2 social media posts per platform.
Okay.
So 2 per platform, and they have to be approved by me.
That's a good one.
My last ask is that, like, whenever possible, that we can bring in camera and video so that we can capture more B-roll for, like, when you're doing more of the people want to see you in action kind of stuff. So that's my 5 asks.
That's really smart because I've heard that people will ask for photo and video, but I didn't hear about the referrals that's so smart.
Well, like, that's your follow-up. That's your follow-up point. Like, who's in the room that I can touch?
Right.
It's that consistent touching that drives. I'm still in a very people-driven business, so it's belly to belly. And so, like, I did an analysis of the 2019 revenue. Do your business analysis if you haven't. Just kind of like, where'd the money come from? What did I do really well this year? The revenue is always one step removed from public speaking for me. And so the better that I get about asking, whether it's for payment or additional ways to follow up with the audience, it keeps the engine running.
One thing that I did, so I just launched my website and it has a services tab. At the end, I do say that giving back is important to me, but I do a limited number of pro bono events and projects.
Yes.
Just setting that expectation, I think, it's probably a good decision.
Ask me about my nonprofit work. So, like, I have asks for nonprofit too.
Okay.
So, like, the 5 asks there's like 2 more things that I add to that. But, like, yes, there still is an incredible amount of prep time.
Right.
Like, I think that, like, for me, doing a lot of speaking, what people don't see is that I'm rehearsing for hours and I am a dynamic speaker because I practice. I have to do a specific thing for your organization that is triple the rehearsal time for me. Unless, if I'm doing something I've done before, that's, maybe 6 to 12 hours of rehearsing. If I haven't done it before, you're looking at 24 hours of rehearsal. And I'm rehearsing whether I have a speaking engagement or not. I still have my speaking rehearsing that I do because I got to keep my voice strong. I got to keep my breath control strong. I got to do all these other things. And so, like, people aren't seeing all the behind the scenes that go into that. And similar to you prepped for this. You didn't just show up like, hey, Keita, we're talking about stuff.
I know. I just have my gear in the back of the car. It's always ready to go.
Oh, yeah, like, time to go. There's so much that goes into the final product.
Yes.
And I think that I wish more people would understand the behind the scenes part of it.
I'm really glad that people are talking about this more. I think one of the recent times I heard it was on the Battle Tactics podcast that used to be on KUOW, and they were talking about how when you're charging for an hour, you're not charging for an hour.
No, you are charging for 6 to 10 hours.
Years of preparation.
Like, what you're asking me to do right now was 15 years of prep work to get to this point. Right? So you're paying me for my 15 years.
And that has helped give me the confidence to do this, right, as a business. Because before I thought, I'm 24, people might think she's so unexperienced, but I'm not. I've been doing this since I was really young. And so thank you.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
Helps me a lot, gives me the confidence to ask.
I'm going to invite you to this. If you ever need somebody to rah-rah you while you're putting a proposal together, text me, call me, like.
You'll send me a voice note.
It'll be like, hey girl, 30%, add 30% on that, call me back, you know? But like, I think that is surrounding yourself with people that will say,
right.
you know, I always have, I have a couple people that I vet proposals with where I'm like, does this sound right? Am I reaching? Am I sounding crazy with these numbers? Or like, so I would invite you to, like,
love to be a part of this group.
Just text me like, here's what I'm thinking. What do you think? Like, I'm always gonna tell you push the numbers up and negotiate down, rather than come in and they're like, yeah, well, can you do it for $1? And you're like, no, that's hustling backwards.
I wish that I had heard of Keita's 5 asks earlier in my career, because especially when I was just starting out in news, I did a lot of unpaid work. And I think that working to build experience, even if that work isn't compensated, can be beneficial in the long run. And if you have the privilege to be able to afford to work for free right now, my advice for you is just to be really picky about the types of unpaid work you choose to do. As a TV host, I get a lot of requests to MC events or to do speaking engagements without compensation. And my takeaway from these experiences is that if you do choose to do unpaid work, you have to really advocate for yourself and make sure that you're getting value out of the experience so that you don't end up getting taken advantage of, which really sucks. I've actually made a video for you on this topic, so make sure to check that out. Career Survival Guide is still a young channel, so it would be greatly appreciated if you could help spread the word about the series and my mission to help early career women and professionals of color advocate for themselves at work. So if this video resonated with you, please share a clip or a screenshot on social media and tag me, because it does help a lot. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.